What's up, everybody? This is one of the new shows that we're doing over here at the old Fat Man Network called "Where Are They Now," where we take former people that were on 15 Minutes of Lame and we see if their fucking reptile dreams have come true or if they fucking went south like fucking most of you new breeders would do on Justin, given the fucking opportunity. So, my guest today, right here, Jeremy and Genie Baud. What's up, guys?
How you doing,
Hi.
Chris?
And I'm not even gonna fuck around. What have you been doing over the last 2 years?
A lot.
Yes.
We've expanded quite a bit in the business.
You
Yeah,
guys have grown big time, like fucking huge, huge.
A lot,
Um,
yes.
what have you guys like? Talk to me about 2 years ago when you guys first came on. How small was the collection then versus how big did it become 2 years later?
I'd
I'd
say
s-
probably half.
yeah, I'd say ball python wise, you can talk on the geckos and stuff like that, but probably had like maybe 125, 150 2 years ago. Now we're somewhere around 300. That's including the hatchlings and stuff too.
Right.
Last year, 2 years ago, our biggest season was 21 clutches. Last year we had 17. And just out of nowhere this year, I didn't expect it. We ended up with 38 clutches.
Jesus
Not,
Christ.
yeah, and it kind of opened us up to like, whoa, shit, this is a lot of work,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then not only that, but we have, we're in Florida, so we have some outside enclosures. One enclosure including rhino iguanas, and then the other one is the panda dragons or the Tenosaura pectinatus or the black and white Mexican spiny tails. And we weren't expecting anything from them this year. We thought that would be another year. So, the spiny tails gave us 33 eggs,
And the
so we hatched them
rhinos,
out. Then we ended up getting rhino eggs. So it's like,
they'll be hatching out in about 10 days or so. So it was like, surprise, you have
Yeah.
all these
Well,
extra animals.
well, and now you're also doing crested geckos and uromastics too, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
My Euros, I'm hoping to breed them this coming season, but they take a little bit longer to grow.
Right.
So it might be another year before I can have babies with them. I just want to make sure that they're pretty healthy and large enough before I breed them.
Yeah, we had those when we were on the first show with you, I
we
think.
had
They were
just
just babies.
I
Well,
think-
you had just gotten them on the first
Yeah,
show. Yeah.
yeah.
So now, how did COVID treat you? How did you get through COVID?
Great.
It did good, but like I said, that was our small year of breeding. Like we ran out of inventory. It kind of sucked. I wish we had this inventory now that we had during COVID. We would be killing it right now. But
Well, and also, you still haven't done shows, right?
Oh, we've done lots of shows.
we've done local, like the Repticon shows
And Daytona.
Oh,
Yeah, we do
gross.
Daytona.
Okay.
We're actually doing another one in a couple weeks. Another
We're
Repticon.
on the wait list for Tinley whenever that opens up for us.
And you guys just got back from Tinley, right? That was your first trip there.
Correct.
First trip to Tinley, first show out of Florida. So obviously it would be the first Tinley show, but yeah, it was amazing. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, we
Meeting
had
a bunch
great
of friends that I see them in the chats and talk to them, and on some other like lives and stuff, but I never get to see them face to face. So that was pretty cool.
Right.
Right.
Right. Okay. Well, now I'm just gonna ask, how much have you guys? I mean, I'm just talking to reptile sales since
Mhm.
you were last on. What do you think the average is that you made total on reptile sales over 2 years?
Over 2 years. Because it was a slow season last year.
150 or something, give or take, something like that, maybe.
Maybe
That's in sales, but we
maybe
spent a lot too, though.
That's what I was going to ask. Compare it to the amount of money you spent.
Well, we kind of grew, so we really reinvested our money so we could make it even better.
Here's one of the questions you asked us the first time around. How much money did we spend versus how much money we made? And when I told you the first time around that we were in the black, because we bought collections of adults and stuff like that. And we were actually, making money our first time around, but it was low money. We spent little money, made little
Right.
money, but we're always kind of like above. Right now we're in the red. Yeah,
You're in the red. So
we really invested heavy. I mean, last weekend I think we put down $8,000 just in more animals and stuff, just investing in stuff,
over the past 2 years, you've spent more than 150,000.
I'd say the past probably 8 months, that's when we got back in the red again, because we just like really started investing.
Yeah.
We bought some more racks. We, instead of just buying what we need at the moment, I just figured how much we're gonna, like, as far as all our racks and stuff like that, how much we're gonna need total, and I don't want to go above that. So we just got, all the racks all at once, so I don't have to, deal with removing stuff around. And
Right. So you just filled up the room.
just filled up the room
Yeah.
and then
Max it out.
invested in some heavy, good
Yeah.
animals. And, because we're noticing that, the more expensive, higher end stuff is selling easier for us. And you're not getting a bunch of tire kickers and, hey, my snake's not eating, or, my light's not working, or, you know what I mean? You're
Right.
not getting a bunch of new guys. So that the higher end stuff is selling more faster for us. And,
Well, and I think it's more exciting too when you start creating that high end stuff.
Right. Absolutely. And the paycheck snakes now just aren't really selling like they used to.
Mhm.
The paycheck snakes, like the $800 snake, you'll have a customer that'll call you 85 times before he checks with his wife. But the 5 grand snakes, the guy's just like, all right, I'm going to send you the money right now.
Oh, yeah.
And normally no problem. So you've obviously dealt with a lot of new customers over 2 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So which one of the things that you're surprised about with the majority of the new customers? Is it that they buy the high end stuff and aren't a pain in the ass? Or is it that they're still trying to haggle you for deals on any and everything?
Some of the newer customers that are kind of new in it, that are looking for the high end stuff, they're actually pretty. I'm noticing like a lot of the newer ones that can afford it or jump into the higher end stuff. I don't know if they're listening to other breeders and stuff instead of just kind of like how I started. I started by buying collections on Craigslist. I
Mhm.
wouldn't recommend that nowadays, but that's how I got started. And like a lot of the stuff I got was like just a single gene pastel or a lesser and things like that. And it's probably not the best way to do it. I was able to get the experience in the first year and all that.
But we also
Right.
get our money back.
Yeah, but I'm noticing
all
like
of
if
that.
there's like some of the newer guys are going straight heavy hitting, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
And
they're kind of pulling the Miguel route,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So I think they're listening to, I don't know, YouTube people talking about it, or just, have good teachers out there, or mentors, I guess. Yeah.
Well,
So
and do you think the reason for that is because of YouTube, because of Instagram? They're because we were trying to convince people to buy $5,000 snakes 10 years ago, but we didn't have that outlet,
Yeah.
I
like
think
Justin has, or Miguel, or any of the
Social
other big.
media.
I think a lot of these live YouTube things, or just YouTube in general, or any social media, is definitely helping in that.
Mhm.
Back in the day, everybody was watching like Barcheck, and like I was the same way too. Like I was buying the big collections of stuff
Mhm.
because it wasn't, when I first started, I didn't have anybody whispering in my ear telling me, how to go about doing this smartly, and you watch Barcheck and you see aisles and aisles of racks full of snakes, and that's what everybody
So you
wanted back
think
then. So that's
quantity.
yeah, you're thinking quantity instead of quality.
Yeah.
So we kind of made the switch a few years ago, and I'm noticing that a lot of the newer guys getting into that, they're more into the quality and getting the higher end stuff, and instead of, hey, let's fill this room up with snakes.
Right.
Also,
Well, there was a lot of even 5 years ago. There was a lot of I don't want to buy it. I want to make it.
yeah,
Kind of mentality. Whereas now I think that people just realize when they come into this how far behind they already are if they don't, put in money and really invest. But where the fuck are all these 20-year-old kids getting like 20 grand to invest in reptiles.
Yeah, delivering food, man.
Yeah. It must be Uber Eats, right? Yeah. Fucking just pisses me to fuck off. When I was fucking 20, I didn't have fucking 35 grand in the bank to fucking,
Yeah, I don't know how
make a purchase no matter what I wanted. Now you're also doing the crested geckos, uromastics, iguanas, and is that more on Genie's end, or is this more like how's the division split between you guys?
I do all of the crested geckos. He doesn't have anything to do with them. He knows nothing about them. I work mostly with the lizards. I do the uromastics myself. Outside lizards like the rhinos and the pectinatas, we kind of work with them together.
Yeah, we kind of split that work, and it works out great. It's nice to have a wife that is like that, that's into it like this. But like the ball pythons, she helps me some on this, but mainly I do that. She does all the crested gecko stuff. I don't know what the morphs are and all that stuff. I don't want to learn, because we also have boas too, and trying to learn boas, ball pythons, and crested geckos, it's pretty damn confusing.
It gets a lot, and like the lizards take more time to care for,
right?
Than
yeah, I bet, yeah.
So
there's a limit to what I want to learn. Like I don't know how old you guys are, but fucking I'm 49, and for every new thing that I learn, I'm gonna forget a fucking old thing.
I'm in 15 years, so I'm getting up there too. So
it's fucking insane. But like I could learn how to take care of an iguana, but then I'll forget how to walk up steps, and I can't be having that. So. So so you're into all this other stuff now.
Yeah.
And how does your fucking table look? I mean, your table must, it shows must be, like a one-stop kind of shop thing.
Now we have to kind of like when we do Repticons and stuff, we're buying end caps because we have all of these different species to display. So it does take a lot longer to set up for shows, and you have to put out more money getting them there.
But I mean, Repticon, what is it, $20 a table? Like fucking.
Actually, I think for the whole end cap, it's like $250, and then you got to pay for electric at some of them.
Right.
It's cheaper for 3 tables, or it's cheaper for 4 tables than it is for 3 tables.
Yeah.
It's weird how they got it.
Right. Well, and do they ever stick you next to like that aluminum siding guy that's at every Repticon, or fucking shingling guy?
I think they got a lot of complaints or something. I haven't seen too many of that. You still get the toy. You know what you're seeing a lot of is oh god, what's that? The laser printing. You're seeing a couple tables.
3D printing. Yeah.
But they're making reptile things out of that, so that's not too bad. But
that's fine.
I haven't seen like the gutter, the window people too much. At least not at the shows we go to, thank God. But I'm wondering if they're getting a lot of complaints, or are there that many more new ball python breeders getting tables now, so they're pushing them window guys out? I don't know. So
well, the thing is, like, you just went to Tinley, so there's probably like 80% ball pythons. Is it the same at like a local Florida show?
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. That's why I decided to branch out into different species and stuff, and it doesn't get boring for us neither, So, we got tortoises that we bought a young male, and that thing is like he's in there with 4 girls. Every time I look in there, man, he's like tagging one of them girls. he's going to town in there.
Yeah.
So we got a whole different assortment of things, so it keeps it interesting and not boring, for us anyways,
and then we can reach more customers that way too.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and how does Fish and Game relate to the amount of species that you're doing? Like you just can't bring in something new there, right? You have to make sure it's not on the blacklist.
Yeah, well
they haven't gotten that far yet as far as
we were at Daytona and we had the pectinatas. Do you know what they look like as babies? They look like green. Yeah, they're bright green.
Yeah, they look like the water lizards. Yeah.
So we had a couple come up and they were talking to me. And what I do when I do the pectinatas, when we start doing the rhinos, is those digital picture frames.
Right.
where it could be a picture and it flashes. So what
Right.
I did is when I, because you can't tell what they look like when they're babies, what they're going to look like as adults.
Right.
I have pictures of the mom and dad, and I have them coming out of the egg and everything. So this couple came over, and I find out later after talking to them that they were actually undercover FWC. So a guy a couple tables over was like, yeah, he was probably checking out those iguanas thinking they were green iguanas because they are illegal in Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
But
he's talking to me and I'm showing him. I'm like, yeah, we just hatched these and I got all the evidence right in the picture frame and didn't mean to do that. But after I found out that's who it was, I was like, man, that's actually a really good idea,
Well, the thing is that from what I understand, I mean, obviously I don't live there, but fucking maybe 3/4 of FWC doesn't know what they're looking at.
That's what I heard.
That's
Yeah, exactly.
I would probably say that. And who knows how much turnover they have.
That's the only time have ever ran into. I mean, they've never been to our house or anything like that. From what I understand, they only, unless it's a new person in the area and they're just going around to introduce themselves or whatever, they don't really mess with you unless you get a complaint. That's what somebody told me. I don't know how true that is.
So you haven't had an inspection yet at your house? And you've been doing this for a while.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. I mean, if they do, we have nothing to hide. They'll be impressed, I'm sure. So we keep everything nice and clean. We don't have any illegal stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's but the problem is if they don't know what they're looking at anyway, then they could give you a hard time regardless if you're if you're doing everything on the up and up anyway, So
most of the time they've been pretty friendly to.
Yeah, there's always going to be one.
Yeah, there's always a couple, but we've heard that most of the time they're pretty friendly when they come out to your house.
Right. Yeah, you guys are the only people I know in Florida that haven't been inspected yet. So that's fucking great. Good for you guys. Because regardless, it's still a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
Is there registration fees and all that for the Euros and Pectinatas?
It's just our class 3 license that we pay $50 a year for. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, you just gotta, when you get the license, you gotta, put down on all the species you're working with and stuff like that, But
okay.
It's pretty simple.
Our daughter has a fennec fox. She's still with us, so she had to get a permit for that, which is basically the same thing.
It's
class
a free
3
one though. It's a free pet permit.
Yeah, if you're not selling them, then the permit's free. But if you're selling them, then we have to get the class 3. So
gotcha. A pain in the ass that sounds like.
I live in Pinellas County and having a contractor's license, man, for cabinets. That's a pain in the ass right now. Like you can go to other counties in Florida, and you don't need to have you have to have an exam and continuous education and proof that you've been working with somebody licensed for 3 years and stuff. That's a pain in the ass.
You got CE just being a carpenter?
Yeah. I didn't know. Did you say GE, general?
No, CE, continuing education.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to do. Yeah, it's not bad though. It's like every 2 years you got to do 14 hours, and it's online, and it's not bad for me because I usually just have her do it.
Right.
But it's
there you go.
It's all about money though. But it's a pain in the ass because you got to go down and renew your license every year and workman's comp and all that. But you can go across the bridge to Tampa and you don't have to deal with any of that. So I'm kind of used to doing all that.
Right. Okay.
Paperwork. The class 3 is pretty simple for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and now, just give me something that you love most about this dumb hobby that you found out over the last couple of years.
What do
I don't know. Hatching cool stuff.
Yeah.
Is the only thing. And the people meeting. I love the people, man. It's like we had this hurricane. Here's an example. And I have friends that I keep in touch with, like from when I was in high school and stuff still. And I've met a lot of people over the years in the reptile community. And we had this, we had this hurricane coming down, and it was actually supposed to hit right at us. It's supposed to go right towards Tampa. We're in St. Pete, which is like closer to the water where Tampa is.
Right.
And we're in a flood zone. I had so many people reaching out to me in the reptile community, messaging me, offering, I don't even know who half of them people were, offering us a place to stay, place to keep my animals, all, just everything. Not one of my friends that I've keep in touch with, or, one of my old school friends or whatever has offered anything.
I will say my friend from work did offer her.
I don't know her
bill.
though.
But I do. She offered for us to bring our animals there, and she's not a reptile person.
But that's an example of one of the things I like is the people that's in this community. Not everybody's like that, but there are a lot of really cool people out there that community.
It was.
So I got to say that's probably number one.
All right, now tell me something you hate about the fucking hobby.
Tire kickers, the people that want the people that want a million pictures and you send them everything and all the information and everything, and then you don't hear back from them.
Oh, or I got to talk to my husband or my wife about it.
Yeah, that'll worse. I had a couple of clutches here last year, and I was aggravated, right? So I was just getting rid of them, and they were only like $400, $500 animals.
Yeah, Shane Kelly one, did he?
Yeah. And somebody emailed me and just said, will you take, could I see some more pictures? And I'm just like, no, like that's it. That's all I respond to the email. No. And then I got so much hate mail from every one of those emails because everyone was like, I didn't know you were such a dick. And I'm like, if you didn't know I was such a dick, you haven't been listening to me or even fucking watching me for the last couple of years, So yes, those people I fucking hate too. So at the end of the day, now you've been doing this. How long have you been doing this total?
2017 is like I've had animals 27 years ago, but
the business was
as far as the business and breeding and stuff like that. I think 2017 is when we bought our first. It was a banana, believe it or not. And then we, from there, we started buying a couple collections. So the very first year we started breeding. So 2017, which is what?
Okay. So you've been doing it for 5, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So where do you see Baud's exotic reptiles in the next 5?
Oh, we'll be here.
We'll be here. We'll be hopefully we'll be full time doing just the business.
Is that the goal for both of you?
Yes.
My job, I'm my own boss. I can choose whatever days I want to work or not. So I plan on within the next few years cutting down, to 4 days, then to 3 days, and maybe just work 1 day a week, just for extra security, depending on how this stuff goes. Yes. But we're not going anywhere. That's why we bought all, like I said earlier, we bought everything that we know we're going to need. As far as like incubators and all that stuff, we just got it all at once just to get it over with, because we're here. We're not going. We love it too much. Even if they banned stuff in Florida, we're out of Florida.
We've already discussed that.
Just gonna move. Yeah.
Okay. We've already discussed it.
And Genie, what do you do for real work right now?
I'm a teacher.
Okay. So that's just horrible, right? You got to deal with children. Like fuck, I can't even imagine a worse job. So I could see you doing it.
I love teaching. It's all the other politics and stuff that make it really difficult.
Okay, so you're itching to do the reptiles full time.
Yeah.
And how did Jeremy's a carpenter, right? So how did COVID affect you guys? Are you saying that reptiles were more lucrative than a real job during COVID?
No. I worked. Our school was open. We were only closed for a few months, and I did online school because we had to do that. And I was back at it the next August. We had to put tape down and squares and all of that different stuff, and kind of keep.
Well, that's because DeSantis is just fuck it. We're doing it. We're doing whatever the fuck I feel like doing, and that's it.
Yeah.
As far as my job, man, I do new construction. Most of the time when I go to these are tract homes. They're not like high-end homes. It might be 300 or 3,000, 3,500 square foot or something like that. Not super big or anything. I used to do that years ago. But anyways, these are tract homes. Usually I'm the only person in the house. Every once in a while you get a tile guy or something in there. So I stayed working. The housing industry, the business was great. The only thing is sometimes it was hard to get materials and things like that. But I continued to work the whole time. Actually, I don't want to say I loved it, but I do know that the traffic was a lot better during the hiatus of the.
Oh yeah.
So that was nice. And what I do for a living also survives. Like if people aren't buying houses, like I know there's been a lot of talk we're going into a recession and stuff like that. So if they're not buying new homes, what do? They want to
They're
fix
fixing
their
up the
home.
old ones. Yeah.
And what is the first thing they do? Kitchens and bathrooms, and that's what I do. So I've always been, work's always been
Lucky.
good for me. So
Yeah.
knock on wood, yeah, it's always
Right.
been good with that. So
All right. Well, so you're keeping at it. Your reptile dreams have not been dashed yet.
no.
Nope. Maybe
All
height.
right.
There's a couple times it's like, oh man, like when we went to Tinley, we were down 4 days,
Right.
and then the week before that, we actually have 300 snakes or so, plus all the geckos and all these. We boxed and bagged everything up to leave because of the hurricane.
Right.
And that was a pain in the ass, but it gave us a practice run in case we really do need to leave.
In
But
case
we're
you
like
need to get
ready.
out, yeah.
We're ready to leave. We had everything. We had a friend that took the rhinos over to their place, and everything else was ready to go.
Yeah.
So, when we realized we didn't have to go, so that took a lot of time doing all that. So between that and then putting everything back away, which took a lot of time, and then working, and then all of a sudden Tinley 4 days, we kind of fell behind on certain things like posting animals on Morph Market and things like that. So that it kind of got rough a little bit,
It
but
just gets
Right.
tiring a little bit at times. You just have to know at least we support each other, so we kind of push each other through those
I support
times.
you. You don't
Right.
support me.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the way it goes. I mean, you've been married a long time. You should know that by now.
yeah.
I mean, come on. All right. Get
20
with it,
years.
Jeremy. Right. Your job is not the reptiles. Your job is to please her. Okay. So, the way it goes, man.
Oh yeah.
All right. How can people get in touch with you?
Google Baud's Exotic Reptiles. We're everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. What else do we have? Some stupid TikTok things, but I don't really mess with that too much.
Yeah, you're over
Instagram.
30.
I'm on a lot. Facebook is on there, but it's linked to Instagram. So
to
anything.
your personal, it's your personal name on
Oh.
Facebook.
Oh, is it? So Jeremy
Yeah.
Baud or Baud's Exotic. If you Google Baud's Exotic Reptiles, it takes
It
you to all
pops
those
up, yeah.
places.
Okay. Well, guys, thanks for taking the time to actually come twice on this dumb show. And I fucking appreciate it, man. So
Appreciate
good
you.
luck to you guys.
you.
And you guys know I'm always around if you guys if I could do anything for you. So
We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank
all
you.
right, guys. Thanks again, man.
All
Thank
right, you have a good one.
Wait, I'm gonna run the thing again. Definitely stick around, but I'm gonna run the
right.
bumper again, right? Man, you gotta love those fucking two. All right, we'll see you next time on Where Are They Now?